Good evening. Welcome to the Global Eye. You are with me, Mousumi. When we speak of victims, we generally, what image actually do we get? We get the image of a woman suffering in silence. But what if behind the closed doors, behind the courtrooms, there is another silence and there's another truth hiding in pain? Good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the urgent and often overlooked conversation that is, men too are under threat. We have today with us very eminent personalities. They are highly influential personalities to discuss on this issue. Aditi Ghoshal, an advocate, Junaid Ali, a lawyer, Vipin Kumar, an advocate, and we have representatives from Save Indian Boys, abrogate Article 15_3. I hope I have said it right. And also we have with us Hina Gagnani. She is a mental health and men advocate. Now let me just, give you an overview. In the recent times, we have heard or watched crimes, stories, but whenever we focus on that, we focus on women's right. And in the name of equality, somewhere or the other, we feel that there is inequality running in the society. We have just got a data in India, over 1 lakh men die by suicide every year. And as per the National Crime Records Bureau, more than 70% of these taking their own lives, they are by married men. Activist groups have pointed out that men are 3 times more, suffering than the women. I hope the commission who said this, I do not know how far it is true, but the National Commission, and activist groups, they say that. And recently we have also seen, women crossing a red line. That is, we have also started hearing news where we find women making their hands red with men's blood. A Delhi High Court ruling 2014 revealed that 53% of rape cases filed were about to be false or motivated by vengeance or financial gain. In 2023, reports across Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh showed a rising trend of men taking their own lives after prolonged legal harassment, character assassination, or child custody battles. And here's the brutal irony. While women are rightly empowered to speak up, men are conditioned to stay silent, to man up, to not cry, to not complain, to not appear weak. But silence is not strength when it leads to loss of innocent lives. Justice loses its meaning when it becomes gendered. So today we open a difficult but necessary debate. We would start with Aditi. She is an advocate, Aditi Ghoshal. Aditi, a question to you. We'll all discuss on this. Is justice becoming one-sided in the name of equality today or in the name of women empowerment? We have shocking data revealing that men are also under trauma. What do you have to say in this? Yes, Aditi Ghoshal.
While I do believe that there is some fact that women have been oppressed for years, and it took a whole lot of years and hundreds and thousands and lakhs of cases to finally be at a point where the laws have started finally making some changes for women. But as I see, justice cannot be just in the name of gender. But I feel that it'll take years, not years, hopefully not years, but at least a few years to the society to accept the fact that men are victims. Because we see there is a gap, a very big gap in the way the society treats women in general. And that is still there. We cannot deny that.
So we come to Junaid. He is a lawyer. So you must be facing many such cases, Junaid, in your courtroom, in the courtrooms, or maybe you have heard such cases. Do you think that justice has become one-sided, and in the name of gender equality or women empowerment, do we see inequality
I
in our
truly,
society today?
first of all, I would like to say I truly believe women has been suffering from decades. Since the demography of crime has changed since years, men are also suffering from such domestic violence cases, false rape cases. But the thing is, the lengthy judicial process where men do suffer a lot inside the courtrooms. Many false evidence are implemented against them, which makes it harder for them to get justice. There are many Decorarian laws against men, and whenever any crime happens against a man, people often say, चार आदमी क्या मर गए इतने तो आप लोगों को इतना बुरा लगा इतने साल से औरतें मरती आ रही थी. Yeah, that is true. Women were suffering a lot since decades, but वो चार लोगों की जिंदगी भी बहुत कीमती है. And the purpose of the law is to safeguard everyone, the one who is really oppressed. So, first of all, I would like to say most of these matrimonial provisions are very Decorarian in terms, whether it's about granting custody to the child, custody of the child to the woman. Although the custody of the child is a paramount consideration and it should lie within the mother, but the thing is, we should look after the such provisions where many false cases are being registered against men and they are helpless to get justice.
Right, thank you so much for sharing your views. We have Vipin Kumar, an advocate. Mr. Vipin, when you see such cases today, nowadays we are getting to hear, or we are watching that, crimes are increasing, and here this time, cases, mostly cases, women, just making their hands red with blood, the crimes, just because maybe vengeance, maybe affairs, or maybe their personal, interest. What do you have to say this? Like, do we somewhere find that, actually our judiciary system needs a change, and somewhere or the other, in the name of equality or women empowerment, we are actually doing injustice to men, the few men, all right, who are actually under trauma. And this also calls for a voice that men too are under threat.
Thank you, everyone. And may I speak in Hindi?
Yes, आप बिल्कुल हिंदी में
Because today our Honorable Home Minister said that in the coming days, English speakers will be ashamed. So thank you very much. देखिए जो टॉपिक था ना आज का, मैं तो उससे सहमत नहीं हूँ वैसे. जब हम ये बात करते हैं कि men are under threat, तो और भी हैशटैग देखा उसमें जो आर्टिकल 15(3) को एब्रोगेट करने की बात है, ये अपने आप में बड़ी वेग सी बातें हैं. अभी जैसे आपने बताया कि वुमेन आर क्रॉसिंग रेड लाइन, सो अब ये वुमेन आर क्रॉसिंग रेड लाइन, व्हाई देयर आर लाइन फॉर वुमेन ओनली, देयर इज नो लाइन फॉर मेन. एंड एज फार एज द क्राइम इज कंसर्न्ड अगेंस्ट मैन और वुमेन, अभी रिसेंट जो केस था जहाँ पर एक कपल हनीमून के लिए गया और वहाँ पर वो पता लगा कि जो ब्राइड थी विद द हेल्प ऑफ हर फ्रेंड्स द ऑफेंस वाज कमिटेड. सेम डे एक खबर अखबार में और छपी थी कि एक वर्किंग वुमेन फ्रॉम गुड़गांव, she was burnt alive by her father and brother because she was in love affair. Same day, though news, but I don't think any one of you is aware about that news. Why? Because killing of a woman is very generalized in our society. And whenever a man, any offense is committed against men and a woman is involved, there is a lot of hue and cry. I agree that each and every life is precious, but we cannot make laws for the exceptional cases. Laws are made for generalization only. And when we say that men, जैसे मैम ने कहा कि औरतें रो लेती हैं, आदमी रो नहीं पाते हैं या अपनी बात कह नहीं पाते हैं, men are also victim of patriarchy. पेट्रियार्की से सिर्फ वुमेन ही विक्टिमाइज नहीं हो रही है, मैन इज आल्सो विक्टिमाइज्ड बाय द पेट्रियार्की. जब हम कहते हैं कि लड़के रोते नहीं हैं, शुरू से जो कंडीशनिंग होती है, व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज पेट्रियार्की ओनली. रोना, जब कहते हैं कि कोई बच्चा रो रहा होता है, लड़का रोता है कि लड़कियों की तरह रो रहा है, व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज पेट्रियार्की. तो मेन की जो कंडीशनिंग है ऐसी, वो भी हमारी पेट्रियार्की ही कर रही है. लॉज की बायसनेस की बात है. देखिए, सम लॉज आर मेंट टू बी बायस्ड, और ये नहीं है कि वुमेन सेंट्रिक लॉज आर ओनली बायस्ड लॉज. हमारे पास लेबर लॉज हैं, that are biased towards the labor, for the welfare of labor. Consumer Protection Act hai, that is biased towards the consumers. Senior Citizen Act hai, biased towards the senior citizen and parents. POXO hai, Juvenile Justice Act hai. So all these laws, special laws, are for the protection of a weaker section, of a victimized section, and these laws are meant to be biased little bit. Similarly, these laws against women have some biased nature, and as far as they are biased, they will work, otherwise not. Women, yes, please.
Yes, continue, sir.
Women from the start of her family till the working place is victimized. There are a number of cases when woman is killed in the name of honor. घरों से लेकर अपनी वर्क प्लेस तक वर्किंग वुमेन का जो इशू है वो हमारे सबके सामने है. कई बार हम कह देते हैं कि वुमेन वर्किंग है, इंडिपेंडेंट है, दैट इज गुड, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि वुमेन वर्किंग, एक जो वर्किंग वुमेन है, इट्स अ ट्रैप फॉर द वुमेन. व्हाई? क्योंकि एक वुमेन को वर्क करने की तो इंडिपेंडेंस आपने दे दी है, लेकिन किचन से उसको दूर नहीं किया अभी तक. तो जो ऑफिस का वर्क है, दैट इज एन एडिशनल बर्डन ऑन अ वुमेन. अगर घर की कमाई में वुमेन अपना पूरा सपोर्ट दे रही है, तो घर के कामों में भी एक मेल को सपोर्ट करनी पड़ेगी. कुछ दोस्त मेरे कहेंगे कि लोग करते हैं, बिल्कुल करते हैं. न्यूक्लियर फैमिलीज में जहां पर एक मेल के पास कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, ही यूजुअली असिस्ट हिज पार्टनर. लेकिन जॉइंट फैमिलीज में पेट्रियार्की फिर से अपना जो सिरा उठा लेती है, और जॉइंट फैमिलीज में अगर वर्किंग वुमन है तो उसे घर का काम भी करना है, बाहर का काम भी करना है. मेल को काम करने को अगर कोई करेगा तो उसकी शेमिंग भी होती है.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your views. We have representatives. It's a very interesting, the organization, the name itself is very interesting. Representatives from Save Indian Boys. Abrogate Article 15_3. So I would request one of their representative to, point, flash light on this issue. Just now, Mr. Vipin said that, weaker section. Do we consider women to be weaker section? And do we actually, while trying to give strength or equality to the so-called women, the weaker section, the so-called women, somehow we are doing injustice to the men?
Well, thank you so much for giving the mic and this opportunity. First of all, I would like to start by saying that Mr. Vipin, what he was saying, he started very first statement about mocking Article 15.3 or the hashtag abrogate Article 15.3. I would like to bring to notice that comparing labor laws with women-centric laws, Vipin himself is calling that women is a weaker section in his own justification. Another point that he said is that laws are made for masses, not for exceptional cases. And you started your description saying NCRB data tells you that 75% of all suicide cases are men and 25% are women. That's why there are 3 times men committing suicide than women. This is official records of National Crimes Bureau of India. And that is the only statistics which is actually collected to talk about men's plight. And right now, we don't have any official surveys or any organization which is even covering or collecting any statistics or any data on men's plight. And he said that when something like Sonam or other cases happen, there's hue and cry about that. So how can we dismiss that hue and cry and say that those are one-off instances? That hue and cry is happening solely because there are so many people who are suffering who don't have any voice. And I would like to give you an example that most of you may not be aware of. In 2016, the sitting chief minister of Arunachal Pradesh, sitting chief minister, you might not even know about such a big story, he committed suicide. And in his letter to Supreme Court of India, he wrote that there is a political and judicial nexus which is harassing him, and his career and life is being destroyed. And nothing happened to that, and he filed a writ petition in Supreme Court as well. And then eventually he committed suicide. So you can think if a person who's at the powerful position of a chief minister was driven to a position that he had no recourse or no platform to voice his opinion or share his plight, that he was driven to commit suicide, what is happening to common men of India? And common men of India have no place to go and no place to even talk about the situation. And on top of that, they are mocked and laughed at with the commentary that was just made that they are victim of patriarchy or men don't speak up or blue drum and all of those jokes. It is appalling that we are trivializing such a serious issue, and it has gone to a level that women can now commit murders with impunity. And that happens, they are able to commit such kind of planning and organized murder because right now Article 15.3 is something which is baked into our constitution, and it gives special provisions for benefit of women, and that has been improperly interpreted and gone to an overreach where we have created laws which are completely malified in many intentions and also completely are going towards the boundary of legal terrorism and legal extortion. In 2005, 20 years ago, Supreme Court of India called 498A a legal terrorism mechanism. This happened 20 years ago. So these things have been happening every few decades. New groups, new discussions happen, and they die down. They think that this is happening. This is something new which is happening. It's just that platform like social media has given voices that we can now hear all about all those things and we can discuss about those things. Earlier also these things were happening, but they did not get any light of the day because it was not cool to talk about men. It was very cool to talk about a woman who ran away from her marriage because she falsely claimed that there was dowry issue over there. And there have been many cases like in 2012 where the woman was made a kind of a hero of the national hero, but later on it was found out that the dowry case that she filed out was false. So this is the reality we are living in. We cannot talk about all positive and good feeling things which are not based by facts, and completely all our statement cannot be misandry laden like this. The way we are talking, we are completely dismissing men's lives as if they don't matter at all. We are talking in terms of men's lives and comparing it with some kind of emotional turmoil of someone else. So it cannot be dismissed at face value. At least we need to have some place where we can even acknowledge that 75% of suicides are male suicides and have some way to collect those statistics and have a discussion on that. We cannot mock abrogation of Article 15.3. We can have more discussion on that, but we cannot start the very first statement, and despite being in a position of an advocate, because it's a conflicting position in itself. When you are an advocate, you are a benefactor of a system, which is basically, if there are many cases and many laws or many conflicts happening, you are a benefactor of that. So you have an even more responsibility on your shoulders not to come up with a situation which will create more conflict. You should be going towards more resolution because you are already under a magnifying glass when you're saying something like that, because you have a conflict of interest over there. So I would rest my voice at this moment and I'll like to chime in later on. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your views. We have with us Hina Gugnani. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. She is a men advocate, and yes, she has started her mission Man Ki Baat. I hope it's Man Ki Baat or Men Ki Baat, but somewhere
Man ke man ki baat.
Man Ki Baat. Hina, even we see there are commissions to speak for the rights of women. Do we see any dedicated national commission for men? And when we see such, just now we heard a representative from a very reputed organization saying that there are false dowry cases, domestic violence allegations. Do we have a dedicated national commission for men? If not, why? And if yes, how are they working to protect men's rights?
First of all, thank you so much for having me, and I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
The other thing is, like everyone is sharing their views about laws, because we have so many lawyers and advocates here. But me being only a men's mental health advocate, counseling psychologist, I have seen men in my therapy sessions because most of my clients, more than 90% of my clients are male, right? And as you said, National Commission. Yes, there has been work going on, but on a very raw level, not at the level where we be vocal about women's right, women are victim, women are the weaker section, in spite of us being talking about males all the time. I have been, shamed upon talking about males on my Instagram or LinkedIn handle. Like people are coming and saying, why you're talking about males? This is not something, you're not feministic, right? I am not feministic. I don't want to be anything like that. Patriarchy, as sir said earlier, that it's ruining males' life also. It's affecting them also. Everyone have a valid point there. But I am considered about here to ask about all the lawyers and advocate here, where are the laws about males? See, when we talk about any injustice, any harassment, be it sexual, physical, any kind of domestic, there are no particular laws to protect males. And as we nowadays see, lot of things are happening because of social media. Because 20 years ago, we were not even able to understand, अच्छा ऐसा भी होता है, मेल्स के साथ ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है, वो इतने कमजोर कैसे हो सकते हैं, right? And now my male clients are coming to me and asking me, ma'am, there are no laws. Only 18 below can register something like sexual abuse, physical abuse under POCSO. 18 plus के लिए कोई law नहीं है. I have seen clients जिनके साथ sexual abuse हुआ है, जिनके साथ domestic violence हुआ है, जिनके साथ false dowry cases हुए हैं. Nobody is there to protect them. Where they should file complaint. I want that thing to know. Other thing is that one more just a trending thing is going on, that dowry के exchange में अब alimony आ गया है. Females are saying that अब हम दिखाएंगे इनको. What are we? हम क्या हैं? अब हम इनसे बदला लेंगे. Why this rage bait is going on? And I think as a result of this rage bait only, in actual life, people are doing this, women are crossing their lines, and when they say this women are on the weaker section and they are not able to protect themselves, foolish bullshit, stupidity, I will say. In 2025, every female have the right to speak, not only in nuclear families but also in joint family. I myself is into 9 years of marriage, joint family. I'm doing my work here from morning to evening. I know when to give time to my family. I know when to give time to my work and when to give time to my kid. You have to, organize your life. And when somebody, I don't know, who was saying that women are giving equal contribution in financial stuff, I am sorry, I am not agree with that, because I think, if I'm not wrong, more than 80% of the females, exceptions are there, but they want to keep the money they earn to themselves. That is why the concept of being independent and single is so common these days in females. क्योंकि मैं कमा रही हूँ, मुझे जरूरत नहीं है husband की. Because when I'm 39 plus, when I was young, females mostly क्यों शादी करती थी? ठीक है, इतना हो गया. Now I will marry a rich guy and enjoy all my life, because there are ATM cards. Question mark again. Most of the females are not ready to give their 100% money when the male is doing it. If you ask a male, जितने यहाँ पर भी हैं, you can ask, I can vouch, कितना वो अपने लिए चीजें खरीदते हैं, कितना वो अपने घर वालों के लिए. Be it parents, not only wife or kids, be it parents, be it siblings, be it other family members, और अपने लिए क्या करते हैं. Today only I have shared a content regarding this. One of my clients said that, मैम मुझे अपने लिए चीजें लिए ना अरसा हो गया, 18 साल हो गए, मैंने अपने लिए खुद नहीं खरीदा कुछ. कभी वाइफ ले आती है, मम्मी ले आती है, बच्चे ले आते हैं, तो चलता है. This whole system is in false perception. When we are talking about males here, the concept of females should not be coming in. I'm also, disturbed with this, because I don't remember the headline or exactly the name of the newspaper, but there was a headline to talk about males are committing more suicide. 70% से ज्यादा males suicide कर रहे हैं these days. तो अंदर आपको क्या लगता है कि न्यूज क्या होनी चाहिए? About males क्यों कर रहे हैं suicide? क्यों suicide rates बढ़ रहे हैं? Why they are going towards loneliness and other stuff? ऐसा क्या हो रहा है उनके साथ? But the news was about females. This literally shattered us psychologists and psychiatrist community, that news की headline है males के regarding, just for the views or trends or something like that, but अंदर content क्या है? Females के लिए. So this whole system is faulty. It has to change. अगर आपको लगता है कि females के लिए ये है, तो males के लिए भी बनाओ ना laws. Males के लिए भी लेकर आओ चीजें. Why not? Every other day I'm talking about this and I am still not getting any answer from anyone.
I have no right to answer.
Mr. Vipin has something to say. I will add on to something. Yes, you are requested to respond to Hina's questions. And one more, when we today see the cases of alimony, don't you think there is a sudden rise and the spike of alimony cases? What do we have to say here, sir? Vipin.
No doubt, there may be sudden rise in the cases of alimony, but first of all, let me make it clear that alimony is a gender neutral law. Between the spouse, the wife and husband, any one of them can claim the alimony. So it is not a, we can say that it is a woman-centric law only. If a husband is dependent on his wife, he can also claim alimony. But generally, it doesn't happen because these are only men who are allowed to work outside the home, who inherit the property, who are the property owners, are the men only. So normally, the beneficiary of this law are women. Now the question raised by my friend, the mental health expert, mental health for the men only, that why there is no law for the men. So my dear friend, all the IPC, now the new law is BNS, all these laws are gender neutral. If any offense is committed against anyone, laws are there. Why separate laws are required for women? Due to her gender only. The crime committed against a man is not due to his gender, but the crime committed against a woman is due to her gender only. And these specific laws are those laws only where the offenses are related to her gender. When the offense is not related to gender of a woman, that offense will be governed by normal laws as for the men. Now, I will add there was a commission raised by Kerala government in 2017 by Justice Hema. That named was Justice Hema Committee to deal with the sexual harassment in Malayalam film industry. What was the result? It was seen in the report that sexual favors by a newcomer entrant, a woman, is a precondition to enter in the Malayalam film industry. And those sexual harassment are not faced by any men. And I'm sure about this. You make such committees in different organizations, in different departments, you will get the same results. There are number of women who are facing sexual harassment at their workplace due to their gender, and that is why there is a special law, prevention of sexual harassment at workplace, 2013 का लॉ है ये. अब जो ऑफेंस एक वुमन के साथ उसके जेंडर की वजह से हो रहा है, उसके लिए स्पेशल लॉज की जरूरत है. जो मेन के साथ जो ऑफेंस कमिट हो रहे हैं वो उसके जेंडर की वजह से नहीं हो रहे हैं, उनको डील करने के लिए नॉर्मल लॉ है. मेंटेनेंस लॉ की बात होती है या एलिमनी की बात होती है, मेंटेनेंस लॉ भी मैं बता दूं, दैट इज आल्सो जेंडर न्यूट्रल. मेंटेनेंस देगा कौन? अगेन द पर्सन हु इज अर्निंग, एंड जनरली इन आवर कंट्री a male is earning person, and the male is the person who inherit the property from his father. Normally women are deprived from the property despite the law of 2005. अब एक आदमी है जो घर से बाहर काम करता है, कमाता है, उसके पास प्रॉपर्टी है, अगर जिम्मेदारी उसकी है अपनी वाइफ को मेंटेन करने की, जिम्मेदारी उसकी अपने बच्चों को मेंटेन करने की. अब बच्चे फीमेल भी हो सकती है बेटी, और बेटा मेल भी हो सकता है, जेंडर न्यूट्रल है. पेरेंट्स की मेंटेनेंस, पेरेंट्स भी इसके मेल भी है, मदर भी है, फादर भी है. नाउ यू काइंडली अप्रिशिएट वन थिंग कि जो वुमेन सेंट्रिक लॉज है, दीज आर फॉर द प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ वुमेन बट नॉट अगेंस्ट अ मैन. व्हेन एन ऑफेंस इज कमिटेड अगेंस्ट अ वुमेन, तो जो ऑफेंस करने वाला है वो वुमेन भी हो सकती है. ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ मैन को ही सजा मिलेगी. अगर किसी वुमेन के साथ कोई ऑफेंस कमिट होता है, चाहे डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस में, उसकी सास करे, उसकी ननद करे, उनको भी सजा मिलेगी. अगर उसके साथ सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट होता है वर्क प्लेस पे, कोई वुमेन भी कर रही है, किसी मेल को असिस्ट कर रही है, कोई रेप कमिट हो जाए अगर किसी वुमेन के साथ, तो ऐसा नहीं है सिर्फ मेल को ही सजा मिलेगी, अगर किसी वुमेन ने असिस्ट किया है तो उसको भी मिलेगी. तो वुमेन सेंट्रिक लॉज को ये बिल्कुल ना देखा जाए दैट दीज लॉज आर एंटी मेन.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vipin, for your views. Coming to like Aditi, we have spoken about alimony cases rising up, and Mr. Vipin has given his justification.
I just want to add one thing. As far as alimony cases are rising, as divorce cases are rising, the simple reason is that the women nowadays are more or less independent as they were earlier. They are free to make decisions. They are free to get separate from the husband. Now they do not have to think twice or thrice that what will happen if I get divorced, how my children will sustain, how will they exist, उनकी education, उनकी पढ़ाई लिखाई वो कैसे सब होगी. अब क्योंकि वो इंडिपेंडेंट है, पहले वो अपनी सफरिंग को कॉम्प्रोमाइज करके सह लेती थी, अब being independent she is free to choose.
Aditi, जब हम कहते हैं कि इंडिपेंडेंट है, एक वुमन इंडिपेंडेंट, व्हाट एक्चुअली डू वी मीन बाय दिस इंडिपेंडेंस? नंबर वन। सेकेंडली, जब हम वुमेन इंडिपेंडेंस के बारे में सुनते हैं, somehow do we really find some women, I'm not generalizing the fact, taking this women victim card, playing this women victim card, क्योंकि independence है ना, because we are independent now, and we can definitely right, like pick any issue, and to become more independent, you can say, and and claim our rights. While claiming our rights, somehow or the other, don't you think, like justice is denied to men? I'm not again generalizing the fact, but do you think that justice is denied to men? Yes.
For some laws, I would agree that justice is being denied, because many lawyers also, when we're sitting, and I have seen my bosses do that as well. जब कोई marriage से related case आया, they just decide कि they can make a bunch of it, and per dhara the cost increases for them. So they do that. They make a bundle of it, and maybe जहाँ पे dowry का कोई case नहीं है, जहाँ पे कोई domestic violence का case नहीं है, we do tend to bring it in the issue as well. जबकि maybe it is just a normal marital, जो भी issues है normally वो set नहीं बैठ पा रहे हैं, they are not compatible in nature, but ये होता है. That is something I agree, but as far as I understand, ऐसा हम नहीं कह सकते हैं कि हम लोगों को वुमेन सेंट्रिक लॉस की जरूरत नहीं है.
We need laws. Coming to Junaid, we need laws. Definitely, we need laws to protect women's right. Definitely, since ages we have seen women suffering, and they're suffering in
I
silence.
would like to add something. What I believe in is कि अगर एकदम ही we can see the prima facie cases, the draftings, they are just so similar. We can spot it that ये बिल्कुल ही बेकार बात करी जा रही है. That is when there should be some provision कि उसको उसका consequence झेलना पड़े.
यहाँ पे मैं जुनेद जी से जानना चाहूंगी, जैसे यस, is there any proper check system, and like to check whether the woman is right or the man is right? Because generally हम जब judiciary system और जितने court cases हम देखते हैं, I do not find, मुझे नहीं पता, the advocates, the lawyers, you people will be able to make this clear. क्या ऐसा कोई check system है कि हमें पता चले that the woman is lying or the man is lying? क्योंकि हम our judiciary system is such that we believe a woman, हम हमें ऐसा लगता है yes she is right, and immediately जो भी claim होता है, maybe rape cases हो गया, maybe molestation, marital molestation cases हो गया, maybe dowry cases हो गए. So do we actually have a certain check system जहाँ पे हमें पता चले कि नहीं ये गलत है? Because there are cases where men are still fighting for 5 to 6 years, and they have gone bankrupt, giving their properties, giving them the salary, everything to the so-called.
No, there is no particular check and balance system for that. बहुत सी केसेस ऐसे हैं जो सालों साल चल रहे हैं, जिसके बाद 8 साल 10 साल बाद खुलासा होता है कि ये एक फेक केस था. तो वी डोंट हैव एनी पर्टिकुलर सिस्टम फॉर दैट. सेकेंडली, मैं ये हम क्राइम को क्राइम के नजरिए से क्यों नहीं देखते, हम इस पे ज्यादा फोकस क्यों करते हैं कि किसने किसको मारा? ऑल्दो ये भी एक सोशल इशू है, द क्राइम तो क्राइम होता है. एंड सेकेंडली, विपिन सर सेड, मैंने ये चीज नोट की थी कि विपिन सर ने कहा कि भारतीय न्याय संहिता में लॉज जो है थोड़े ज्यादा जेंडर न्यूट्रल हो गए हैं. तो मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है, अज्यूम कर लीजिए अगर आज किसी मेल के साथ रेप होता है, तो उसके पास क्या रेमेडी है, या वो किस सेक्शन के अंडर भारतीय न्याय संहिता के अपनी कंप्लेंट फाइल कर सकता है?
Yes, Mr. Vipin, we'll come to the representatives of our organization, but इसका आंसर मैं जानना चाहूंगी विपिन जी, क्या ऐसा?
Yes, मेरे जो फ्रेंड ने बात कही है बिल्कुल दुरुस्त बात कही है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली पहली बात तो रेप ना कहें उसको हम, वो एक तरह का पेनिट्रेटिव असॉल्ट ऑन अ मैन. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, रेप इज अ स्पेसिफिक जेंडर से जुड़ा हुआ एक ऑफेंस है. लेकिन बिल्कुल सही कहा उन्होंने कि अगर ऐसा कुछ हो जाता है किसी आदमी के साथ तो वो कहाँ जाता है. जो न्यू लॉ बना है अनफॉर्चुनेटली उसमें ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. न्यू लॉ में बहुत से फ्लॉज हैं माय फ्रेंड, और उसी फ्लॉ के चलते जो 377 था पहले आईपीसी में, उसको जब रिवोक किया गया तो रिवोक करने का पर्पस तो ये था कि जहां पर म्यूचुअल रिलेशनशिप है बिटवीन टू मेल्स, उसके चक्कर में उस पूरे लॉ को ही हटा दिया, और जहां पर फोर्सफुल भी अगर इंटरकोर्स होगा किसी मेल के साथ बाय अ मेल, वो जो ऑफेंस बनता था वो भी हट गया है. दैट इज वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट एंड यू आर वेरी मच राइट. वन थिंग आई विश टू ऐड, जो मेरे फ्रेंड्स ने कहा कि लॉज का मिसयूज है, जो आपने क्वेश्चन रेज किया कि फेक केस है या फेक केस के अंदर 2 साल बंदा अंदर आएगा, बाद में पता लगा फेक केस था या कोई चेक नहीं है. तो इस बात को समझें आप कि ये जो इश्यूज हैं ये सिर्फ वुमेन सेंट्रिक लॉज के साथ नहीं है, ये हमारे पूरे जुडिशियल सिस्टम के साथ है. देयर आर नंबर ऑफ केसेस अंडर यूएपीए, 10-10 साल तक, 10 साल बाद जाके पता लगता है कि केस साबित नहीं हो पाया एंड एक्विट होता बंदा, 14 साल बाद पर्सन एक्विट होता है यूएपीए. तो ये जो केसेस हैं, ये जो ऑफेंसेस हैं, लॉ का मिसयूज सिर्फ वुमेन सेंट्रिक लॉ के साथ नहीं, सभी के साथ है. पुलिस कितना मिसयूज करती है, किसी को उठा के अंदर कर दिया, अब वो अपनी बेगुनाही साबित करता रहेगा. फेक केस का जो इशू है वो बाकी लॉज के साथ भी है. जो चेक्स एंड बैलेंस की बात है वो सिर्फ ऐसा नहीं कि इसी में है, जो प्रिंसिपल चेक एंड बैलेंस के क्रिमिनल ज्यूरिस्प्रूडेंस में बाकी लॉज के साथ है, वही जो वुमेन सेंट्रिक लॉज है उनके साथ है. यहाँ कुछ अलग से नहीं है. तो जितना चेक एंड बैलेंस, जितना मिसयूज, जो फेक केसेस का इशू हमारे पूरे जुडिशियल सिस्टम में है, उतना ही यहाँ पर है. यहाँ पे कुछ अलग से नहीं है.
Right. We'll again request one of the representatives from Boys Abrogate, Save Indian Boys Abrogate Article 15_3, the organization. एक सवाल है, ये पेट्रियार्की हो गया या बचपन से जिस तरीके से हम बच्चों को ग्रो करते हैं. एक स्कूल में एक बच्चा, a boy, is bullied by a group of 4 to 5 girls. लेकिन जब वो बच्चा जाके टीचर को कंप्लेन करते हैं, वो टीचर इस बात को इग्नोर करते हैं, क्योंकि उनका सवाल ये है, अरे तुम तो लड़के हो, तुम्हें लड़कियों ने क्या बुली कर दिया, तुम्हें लड़कियों ने क्या हार्म कर दिया. डोंट वी समवेयर सी दिस काइंड ऑफ the thought process जो imbibe बच्चे बचपन में करते हैं. This is actually बड़े होने तक now we are facing this, because when men say now Mr. Vipin said there is no such term called rape for men. Why can't, like, when we know there are such cases, we know ये हो सकता है, but
no, let me make it clear. टेक्निकली कोई टर्म नहीं है, लेकिन ऑफेंस वो था अभी तक, अभी हटाया. आई डोंट नो क्यों हटाया, दोबारा लेकर आएंगे उसको.
हाँ, फिर ये ऑफेंस, like I would request the organization's representative, अगर ये ऑफेंस हटाया गया तो मेन कहाँ जाए? तो यही are men on the threat now, कहाँ जाएंगे?
And one more thing, वो उस ऑफेंस में जो अक्यूज्ड है वो भी मैन ही है.
मेन ही है, women भी हो सकता है. See, we know the world is open now.
There cannot be any penetrative assault on a man by a woman.
What do you have to say on this? I would request the Save Indian Boys Brigade Article 15_3's representative to speak on this.
Sorry to
Thank you
interrupt
for
in
giving me
between.
the mic.
I'm sorry. Mostly, Save Indian Boys also have a question. So please, you can speak about that CRPC 125 question.
Yes, I would request they can ask the question on the ongoing event. Yes.
Yeah, I will touch upon that as well. See, you have to understand that the social fabric, morality, and law, these are not one and the same thing. So, like Mr. Vipin said, that the male assault is not rape, and you rightly pointed out that he said that why it is not called rape, and then he gave a clarification for that. And so that's where we are jumping between morality and legality. When we are having a discussion based on law, we can only talk about law. When we talk about morality, we can talk about only morality. In his rhetoric, he's jumping between law and morality every now and then. Like he conveniently said that maintenance laws are gender neutral. I'm like surprised that an advocate is giving a patently false information. I request him to give a single judgment under CRPC 125 where a maintenance was granted to husband by wife. It is not a gender neutral law. It is completely, in fact, the judges are given gender sensitization training, and those trainings are all about sensitizing them towards being more and more biased towards women while trying to evaluate all the evidences and all the facts presented to them. So even if you present a fact in front of them and you say that the husband is completely unemployed, he cannot do anything, or he is suffering from some kind of ailment, and the woman is not doing job, even though she is a master's or a PhD degree holder, she's not doing job and asking for maintenance. The comments that are given by like a comment by Punjab and Haryana High Court was beg, borrow, or steal, but you have to pay maintenance. and a person who failed to pay maintenance was jailed by after that comment was made. So that is the reality we are living in, and making these kind of commentary that maintenance laws are gender neutral is patently false, and we should not do things like that. And these are completely, mostly because I've been seeing this for over 2.5 decades now, these statements keep on repeating like a clockwork, and these are all used in a way to defend the complete biasness and absurdity in our system right now, which has taken the system in such a skewed manner that the legality, which was supposed to be defensive, is being weaponized completely for legal extortion. And even the apex court, the highest court of India, 2 decades ago, is calling something legal terrorism. So imagine if the Supreme Court has to say something like that, what would have been the grave circumstances where they made a comment like that on record? But people 20 years ago, many people might not be cognizant enough to understand legal system in this panel. I see that some people are very young over here. So if this is happening for such a long time, they might go onto Twitter or on Facebook, and they may see that this is something new which is happening right now. Nothing new is happening over there. Men's suicide has been going on for ages. There has been no way to, or no recourse for them to speak about that. There are certain NGOs which are working in an unorganized manner, self-funded people who are funding amongst themselves. They have no funding at all. Like, for example, if I tell you the funding for WCD is 4.6 lakh crores. That is 4.6 followed by 12 zeros. That is the annual budget of WCD. And when I spoke about Article 15.3, many people also come back saying that it is special provisions for women and children. So children and women are always spoken in same breath in India, which is again a big misnomer. We should not be doing that. Women's problem and children problems are not one and the same thing. They are 2 totally different aspects. There was a famous case by Suchna Seth, a woman called Suchna Seth, who was the CEO of a company, a VC-sponsored company from Bangalore. She was an ex-Google or a FANG employee, and she killed her 4-year-old son because she was having a matrimonial dispute with her husband. And she said that she saw her husband's face in the child, and that's why she got irritated and suffocated and killed the child. And it was a very famous case. It went on for some days and then it disappeared. And many such cases happen where women kill their children itself. And we are saying women and children speak together, and we are giving 4.6 lakh crore budget for things like that. Where that budget goes, it goes into various different NGOs, many different organizations which do a lot of marketing. And right now, many people may not know about Atul Subhash, but everybody knows about Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao slogan. And you know about that because there is a huge budget behind that. And that budget is constantly told to you every single day. And if a man is coming up and speaking about, like Atul Subhash completely documented his ordeal. Imagine he was an AI engineer. He was a very well qualified person. And what would have been his state of mind that he wrote a letter to the Honorable President of India. He tweeted to Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Probably he thought that he could get some help from there. People are joking about that. And person of such sanity who had a very organized way of explaining his issues, he presented everything, uploaded it online, and then committed suicide. Typically, people commit suicide, and my friend who's a psychologist over here can affirm that somebody who's committing a suicide would have completely lost all recourses and would be completely depressed to be doing something in an organized manner like this to say his word, because he has nothing to gain out of that. And he did that because he wanted that to gain momentum, and probably next generation can save, something good can come out of it, and next generation can be saved out of that. And he sacrificed his life, essentially. Because you had not given him any recourse, he had no way to do anything other than take his own life, because his own money was being used to fight cases against himself. Even her spouse's lawyers had to pay it by his own salary. So if he's going to work more and more, he's going to dig more and more grave for himself. You had not left him any opportunity or any avenue to even live, which is the basic right in any like in even third world countries. You at least have the right to life and liberty. But because of 15.3 and because of in the name of special provisions, the kind of draconian things that we have created, and every few years our apex court gives comments that, oh, laws are being misused and this is bad, this should not happen. But nothing concrete happens on that, because we give arguments like this. We completely dismiss people who are losing lives, and we are giving arguments like, oh, women have been suffering for years, and anecdotal observations of certain things which are being told, or advertising movies like Thappad, or pop culture articles or things like that. And we are appalled or shocked about when we see something like Sonam Raghuvanshi. How do you think a woman who just got married planned to take a life of somebody who had done nothing to her? Why did she do that? Because these kind of people are completely aware that they can get away with the law. They can do anything.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing your views. I'll come to Lehina. See, you
Some
are a
question was
mental.
raised by my friend. May I answer?
Yes, just a question to Hina. When we speak about, you are a mental health advocate, ma'am, and when we see the way boys are brought up in a family and in a society, do you ever feel that boys are actually, men are brought up in that way? Just I gave you an example. When a boy goes and complains to the teacher that I'm bullied, I'm facing this, somebody opened the zip of his pant. When he goes and he complains to the teacher somehow or the other, teacher, parents, guardian, or the society, are we somewhere or the other giving a deaf ear to the complaints or the traumas or the troubles of the boys or the so-called male part? How do we see this? And this actually is growing, and this advantage is being enjoyed by women. I'm not generalizing. Somewhere or the other, a section of men are actually, and a time comes when men stops speaking and the boy stops complaining. Right. So what do you have to say here, sir, ma'am?
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, that when a boy is being raised like that from, being bullied at school, or someone opens his zip and he complains, nobody will, first of all, agree that something like that can happen to you, because other things which we are talking about here now doesn't matter. The boy is not a boy there. He's a small kid. वहां से ही उनको they have been treated like a male, a man, not a boy. They don't see how a tenderness of a kid can, protect them. They can go to someone and ask for help, and if they get bullied, they can tell someone, and seniors and all, they can protect him. Rather, they have been told. We all have seen 8 to 10 years of boys at home when the father is going out or there is no other male. People tell them that, okay, mama ka dhyan rakhna, right? Take care of your sister, take care of the ladies at home. They are small kids. वहां से ही जो parenting है वो wrong हो जाती है. And this all is ingrained in our society so much that we are not agreeing. Even if we are advocate, even if we are psychologist, even if we are judge, किसी भी position पे हैं, nobody will agree कि ऐसा कुछ होता है. Women के साथ गलत होता है, उसके लिए laws हैं, ठीक है. If a man get raped, this moment, अभी, when we are talking, कहाँ जाएगा? कहाँ complain करेगा? Nobody will register his complaint. Thousands of things comes that you are not man enough. Okay, this is something that you must be gay, or कुछ तो है तुम्हारे साथ गड़बड़, right? And I have seen, like you said, that एक moment के बाद they stop speaking, right? Because they have been raised like that. I have seen people, or in my family, friends, or clients, those have been affected sexually, physically. बार बार मैं इसके बारे में क्यों बात कर रही हूँ? This is the part that been dismissed every time. One of my clients told me that he has been sexually abused by his teacher, his tuition teacher, male ही था वो. Then he is abused by a female teacher also, 4th time. He told his father, he told his mother, his brother, everybody denied. They laughed out and dismissed his emotions, and he put it inside, and uske baad he never started speaking, kuch initiate ही नहीं करता था वो, right? These things, in a way, tell them that, okay, you're not supposed to speak. If you tell someone, if someone touched you wrongly, if you tell anyone, they will make fun of you. You will be less of a man. Someone will doubt your manhood. Someone will say you're not strong enough to punch them. Many other things. And one more question here, those who are saying that men ke saath kuch nahi hota, ya, I'm only men's mental health advocate. No, I take sessions of every gender. I'm gender neutral, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. But still, about males, when a small kid fall down, irrespective of gender, what would be your first reaction? बच्चा गिर गया, वो रो रहा है, what would be your first reaction? अगर वो आपका भी है या किसी और का है, आप उसको उठाएंगे, चुप कराएंगे, पानी पिलाएंगे, whatever they want, candy or chocolate or something, उसको वो देंगे और बिठाएंगे, right? This is the genuine reaction. But ऐसा नहीं होता है reality में. When a girl child fall down, being sensitive kid, being raised softly और बहुत प्यार से, नाजों से, I am a female, I can't dismiss this thing. Then we protect them, we tell them, okay, sit down, आपको लग गई है चोट, आपको medicine की जरूरत है, या you take water, take something. But when a male child fall down, ऐसा नहीं होता है. We tell them to dust their clothes and stand up and play because वो तो शेर बच्चा है. This Raja Beta syndrome is a new disease which is happening all over the globe, not only in India. Raja Beta है, तुम शेर बच्चा है, बोलना कुछ नहीं है, चुप करके चलते जाओ. And when they don't speak anything, कोई कुछ नहीं बोलता. At the age of 20-22, जब उनकी कोई गर्लफ्रेंड होती है या फिर आगे जाकर उनकी कोई job या something like they get married around 24-25, then people say ये तो बोलता ही नहीं है, speak out, बोलते क्यों नहीं हो? Then suddenly उनके यहाँ पे गन लगा दी जाती है कि tap open करो, cry, speak, express yourself because you have a partner, she needs your company. आपने ही तो उसको रोका था बचपन में. शेर बच्चे नहीं रोते, लड़कियों की तरह नहीं रोते. You can't express yourself, you can't tell anyone किसी ने आपको wrongly touch किया, you can't tell कि आपके साथ sexual or physical abuse हुआ. So these all things are so ingrained in our head that we are not breaking this cycle. We are in current scenario, we all have seen कि people are raising their voice also sensitively. अगर वो रो रहे हैं तो उनको चुप नहीं करा रहे हैं कि रोने दो, right? These things can give long impact. आपको नहीं पता कि अभी की एज में we have one young fellow with us, Junaid, that he can agree or disagree what I'm saying, that इस time पे I don't know what his life has been like. अभी के लिए कोई कहेगा ना that okay अभी रो, अभी आपको कुछ फील हो रहा है, अभी बताओ हमें, he won't be able to इतना ज्यादा like us females can, क्योंकि हमारी कंडीशनिंग ऐसी हो चुकी है. और हमें ना एक चीज, लास्ट चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगी बिफोर समवन एल्स टेक्स द माइक, दैट फीमेल्स के लिए लॉ है. आई एम नॉट अगेंस्ट दैट, टोटली नॉट अगेंस्ट दैट, बिकॉज आई हैव बीन स्पीकिंग अबाउट फीमेल्स आल्सो एट लॉट ऑफ platforms. I am a parenting expert also, relationship expert also. I have been saving females from जो divorce में उलझी हुई हैं, जिनके साथ बहुत बुरा हो रहा है. But मैं भी फीमेल हूँ, मेरे साथ कुछ गलत होगा, मैं भी उसी लॉ के जाऊंगी लॉ के पास कि मुझे प्रोटेक्ट करो. मेन के पास क्या है, स्पेशली मेन के पास क्या है? जब अतुल सुभाष की बात हुई, एक अतुल सुभाष नहीं है, वो उसने लेटर लिखा. क्या आप लोगों ने उस लेटर में एक चीज ऑब्जर्व की? अगर किसी ने पढ़ा होगा तो थैंक यू फॉर सेव इंडिया फॉर मेंशनिंग दिस. ही डिड नॉट वांटेड टू डाई. उसको मरना नहीं था. ही एक्चुअली सैक्रिफाइस्ड हिज लाइफ. उसने सैक्रिफाइस ही किया है फॉर द फर्दर जनरेशन, फॉर अदर meals, because he wanted to live his life happily for his kid, for his wife, for his family. उसे नहीं पता था कि उसके साथ ऐसा हो जाएगा. So there are many अतुल सुभाष जो closed door के पीछे चुप करके उलझ रहे हैं, लड़ रहे हैं. और अगर वो रिकॉर्ड भी करते हैं ना, I have seen females hitting them literally, blood stain on their faces and everywhere. I have letters in my DMs every other day on mails that ma'am this is happening with us, if you can't help us law ki taraf se, but kindly raise voice for us.
Thank you so much
This
for
is
sharing
happening.
your views. Now, Mr. Vipin, now, don't you think somewhere it's a failure of our judiciary system that we are not able to make any, dedicated law for men to? Yes, laws for the rights of the women are accepted. I'm also a woman. We are 3 women sitting here. We need, because since ages we have been observing, knowing, reading that women are suffering in silence. But now things are opening up that not only women are suffering, behind the closed doors we find the male counterparts suffering, but there are no laws, there are no ears, there is no one to listen to them, and that actually compels people like Atul to take his life. just to, maybe aware the people, maybe shake the judiciary system that men also need a law for their rights, to listen to their voice. What do you have to say here?
I will continue, but first of all, I want to know that for what type of offense against a man special laws are required. Can you cite me a single offense? Any
Yes.
special offense that is committed upon a man due to
Perjury,
his gender?
For rape
false cases.
false
Exactly,
cases.
false cases. Very much right. Any other?
I'm having this Bharti Nyaya Sahita with me right now. You can refer section 69 of this act. That is, we have a special provision for false marriage. A man can be penalized.
I'm sorry, my brother.
Let me speak. Let me speak.
First of all,
Please,
let me
please.
complete my.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. No, please. Speak.
That issue is very much relevant. That needs separate discussion also. Now, when my friend said the Save Boys campaign, that कोर्ट कह देती हैं जी कहीं से भी कमा के लाओ, चोरी करो, डाका डालो, कुछ भी करो, ऐसा नहीं है. अगर एक एबल बॉडीड पर्सन है, उसी के लिए कहा जाएगा. आपने जो एग्जांपल लिया था, बहुत एक्सट्रीम एग्जांपल्स ले रहे हैं. यू आर रनिंग ए कैंपेन, आई अंडरस्टैंड, आप उसी तरफ की बात करेंगे. लेकिन जैसे आपने एग्जांपल लिए कि बंदा काम करने के लायक नहीं है, हाथ टूटा हुआ है, पैर टूटा हुआ है, बीमार है, उसे कमाना पड़ेगा, ऐसा नहीं है. लॉ काफी हद तक इवॉल्व हो चुका है. और जब मैं कहता हूं कि मेंटेनेंस एक जेंडर न्यूट्रल लॉ है, उससे मेरा मतलब क्या है कि मेंटेनेंस सिर्फ वुमेन के लिए नहीं है, मेंटेनेंस बच्चों के लिए भी है. बच्चा मेल और फीमेल कुछ भी हो सकता है. मेंटेनेंस पेरेंट्स के लिए भी है, वो पेरेंट में मदर भी है, फादर भी है. जब मैं कहता हूं कि मेंटेनेंस जेंडर न्यूट्रल है, तो उसकी बेनिफिशियरी सिर्फ वुमेन नहीं है. थर्डली, जो एग्जांपल
लेट्स नॉट, आप बिल्कुल अब एक दूसरे की इंटेलिजेंस को इंसल्ट कर रहे हैं. अब आपने जो बात बोली है ना, आई हैव टू इंटरप्ट यू बिकॉज़ यू मैनिपुलेटेड.
लेट मी कंप्लीट,
But then you are manipulating now. Please don't
Just to
manipulate.
justify your point, you can't
Please,
dismiss other
insult each
views
other.
to
Please.
justify your points.
And when
You
you are
cannot
taking
insult each other's
some
intelligence.
extreme examples like, okay, you can go.
Yeah,
When you are
Mr.
taking,
Yes. Huh.
when you are taking some extreme examples like Atul Subhash, see,
It's not extreme.
अगर specific
He
victims
was a
के
regular.
examples, अगर specific, what did he said? Anyway,
He was a
देखो, जब-
regular guy.
सर देखिए, जब हम कोई एक्सट्रीम एग्जांपल्स लेके चलेंगे ना विक्टिम्स के, चाहे मेल हो चाहे फीमेल हो, और अगर उनको हम गिनती में करेंगे तो फीमेल्स के इतने एग्जांपल्स आपको मिल जाएंगे, रियल केस एग्जांपल मिल जाएंगे जिनकी कोई गिनती नहीं है. और मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा आप सबसे, आप छोड़िए, मैं एक ब्लाइंड पत्ता फेंक रहा हूं. मैं, आप आज का अखबार उठा के देख लीजिए, एनी न्यूज़पेपर, हिंदी इंग्लिश एनी न्यूज़पेपर, और उसमें आप ऑफेंस देख लीजिए. आपको पता लग जाएगा कि क्राइम अगेंस्ट वुमेन की क्या कंडीशन है, और क्राइम अगेंस्ट मैन ड्यू टू हिज जेंडर, कि वो मेल है, उसकी वजह से क्या उस पे क्राइम हो रहा है. आप कोई भी अखबार आज का उठा के देख लीजिए, आपको सच्चाई का पता लग जाएगा. और आपको
इतने
आइडिया हो
बोले
जाएगा
मत
why
बनिए
special
विपिन जी.
laws
अब
are
आप
required
बहुत ट्रिवियलाइज
for
कर
women.
रहे हैं, बहुत ट्रिवियलाइज कर रहे हैं प्रॉब्लम को. ये न्यूज पब्लिश कौन करता है? उनके पीछे कितना बजट है? 4.6 लाख करोड़ का बजट है पूरा, जिसमें सिर्फ विमेन इश्यूज को हाईलाइट किया जा रहा है. मेन के इश्यूज तब आ रहे हैं जब वो सुसाइड कर ले रहा है. आपकी मिसैंड्री किस हद तक जा चुकी है कि आप इस लेवल पे चले गए कि अतुल को आप एक्सट्रीम बोल रहे हैं? अतुल वाज अ वेरी
Brother,
रेगुलर
I am
गाय,
an
वो एक्सट्रीम
advocate.
केस नहीं
Sir,
था.
one more thing, sir.
बट विपिन,
One more
आप
thing, sir.
बहुत ही ज्यादा
Just-
मिसएंट्री कर रहे हैं. और
Sir,
आप गलत
एक
इन्फॉर्मेशन
चीज-
भी दे रहे हैं. आप
Global
सीआरपीसी
है.
125 को
everyone
जबरदस्ती
please
ले रहे हैं.
आप एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे हैं जहाँ पे मेंस
Please
मेंटल हेल्थ की
mute.
बात होनी है और आप फीमेल्स
Ma'am.
का पॉइंट ला रहे हैं.
Ma'am, mute for a second. I want to say something.
Wait, Paru, let the discussion continue. Yes. Yes,
So
Hina.
I was just saying कि I agree with you. न्यूज़पेपर में जो भी न्यूज़ है मोस्टली रिगार्डिंग फीमेल होगी, क्योंकि होता ही इतना ज्यादा है. मैं हरियाणा से हूँ, हरियाणा में सबसे ज्यादा होता है, राइट? इससे ज्यादा हरियाणा यूपी से ज्यादा कहीं नहीं होता होगा फीमेल्स के अगेंस्ट क्राइम. बट माई पॉइंट इज 98% फीमेल के साथ होता है. बट वट अबाउट जो 2% मेल्स के साथ होता है? हम फीमेल की बात ही नहीं करना चाहते यहाँ पे. पता है पॉइंट क्या है सर? सिंपल सा पॉइंट है, वही जो मैंने न्यूज़पेपर का बोला. ऊपर हेडलाइन है कि मेल सुसाइड कर रहे हैं 70% से ज्यादा. अंदर क्या है मसाला? फीमेल की बात. आप वही कर रहे हो. आपको डिसरिस्पेक्ट कोई नहीं कर रहा है यहाँ पे. हम बात ये करें कि यहाँ पे मेल्स की बात करें प्लीज.
Has something to
देखिए,
wants to add.
men are already privileged in their family, in their
No, they are
workplace
not.
on
No,
road.
they are not.
You
They
are
have been
absolutely
conditioned.
wrong,
They
Mr.
have been
Vipin.
conditioned.
Let me
Sorry,
complete my line.
Sorry to
I have
interrupt
done-
each and everyone.
I have done research for.
Junaid की तरह Junaid आप कुछ share करना
Yes,
चाहते हैं?
ma'am.
We are running
Yes,
short of
ma'am.
time. We'll just take 2 minutes from everyone. Yes, Junaid जी, हाँ जी.
मैम विपिन सर ने कहा कि ऐसा नहीं है जनरली मेंटेनेंस के केसेस में कि कोर्ट कह देती है आप एबल बॉडीड है नहीं, आप काम करिए, कुछ भी करिए। तो ये तो एक सिटिंग जज, हाई कोर्ट के सिटिंग जज का स्टेटमेंट था कि आप एबल बॉडीड है या नहीं, आपको कहीं से भी लाके मेंटेनेंस देना है। इसके बारे में आपका क्या कहना है सर?
You're asking from me?
यस सर।
देखिए, मेंटेनेंस लॉ में ठीक है, बड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग लॉ है, उसकी स्ट्रेंथ क्यों चाहिए वो मैंने बता दिया आपको। लेकिन अगर वुमेन वर्किंग है और वुमेन पढ़ी लिखी भी है तो ऐसा नहीं है कि उसको मेंटेनेंस 100% लगेगी। देयर आर डिफेंसेस आल्सो, देयर आर डिफेंसेस आल्सो, नॉट ओनली फॉर
I
वुमेन
truly agree with you,
but for the children, for the parents, there are defenses also.
In most of the cases, the custody of the children is always granted with the mother, right?
Up to 5 years of age only.
No, the paramount consideration is to be considered always in many cases. Secondly,
No.
आप मतलब
बच्चे की वेलफेयर देखा जाएगा सर,
जी,
बच्चे
the
का वेलफेयर
paramount
देखा
consideration
जाएगा,
is more important.
बच्चे का वेलफेयर देखा जाएगा।
सर बात मेंटेनेंस की थी, तो ये भी एक सिटिंग हाई कोर्ट के जज के वर्ड्स हैं कि आप एबल बॉडीड हैं या नहीं, आप कहीं से भी लाके मेंटेनेंस दीजिए, आप उसको मेंटेन कीजिए।
सर अलग अलग जजेस का आपको अलग अलग ओपिनियन मिल जाएगा। अगर किसी सिटिंग हाई कोर्ट जज ने ये कह दिया है जैसा बता रहे, डजंट मीन कि वो लॉ बन गया।
अलग जजेस के अलग अलग जजेस के
बट सर वो जजमेंट तो बना है ना,
जजमेंट बन गया,
इट्स नॉट
आपको
कि वो
We'll just wind up
opposite
this
judgment भी
discussion.
मिल
It's
जाएंगे।
a never-ending discussion because yes, it is for awareness. I will go to say, Aditi, how do you see the entire scenario today? अलग-अलग judgment होते हैं अलग-अलग judges के, क्या ये सही है? क्या there is no fixed rules, principles जहाँ पे सच and झूठ का एक clear line हो? Yes, Aditi.
That at the end of the day, it ends with the fact कि वो discretion of the court है, largely वो discretion of the court है, and mostly decisions सारे conditions को देख के ही लिए जाते हैं, but हाँ कुछ judgments हैं जो बहुत questionable हो जाते हैं, and हाँ अगर high court का judgment है तो ruling है वो consider किया जाएगा, तो of course that is something to think about.
Yes, save women voice. Save women voice. We'll just wind up just 2 minutes because it's already 9 crossed. We have crossed out. What do you have to say?
Yeah, thank you.
Is there any clear principle rules?
Yeah, first of all the things that I said, I have shared links in the chat comments. You can see for that, the Punjab and Haryana court and the budget and everything. I've shared all the links for it. I'm not making any anecdotal things or random things like our friend was doing. Mr. Advocate was calling CRPC 125 gender neutral is the biggest misinformation that he can do on a public forum. And it is such a big disservice to his profession and to the nation that you should not be doing that. No, you can share the link. I've shared the facts with you. You're not sharing facts. You are completely wrong about that, and I'm calling you patently wrong.
On the Google.
Share the link on the chat if you have anything. So that's one I want to say. And other point I want to say is that, like, I will give you a different example and an analogy. Like, for example, for Kashmir issue, many times people say that the people over there don't want to solve it because there is a huge budget for military and they are the benefactor of that, and that's why they never want to solve it. Similarly, this is being made a gender war while it is not. India is being divided based on gender, while people who are dividing India, they are ruling the country, and there is a huge budget behind that. 4.6 lakh crore rupees, for which also I've shared, and that budget will ensure that we will never solve this problem, and we will always perpetuate and say that women are the victim, because that gives you more and more budget every year, and this 4.6 lakh crore is 37% higher from last year's annual budget. You can buy 200 Rafale aircrafts in 4.6 lakh crore, and we were discussing about 2 Rafale falling down or 1 Rafale falling down. It is such a big amount that anybody's existence can be completely dismissed. Your brain can be completely washed. The propaganda, the narrative, everything can be changed in this kind of amount. It's such a huge budget. It is very close to the defense budget of India. We are spending that amount of money in talking about women empowerment. So talking about saying things like CRPC 125 is gender neutral is complete disservice to this nation, and it is an anti-national activity to give information like that, which is patently wrong, especially by a person who's an advocate and who's not only giving misinformation but disrespecting his profession as well.
Thank you so much for your views. We'll just end up with Hina's version. How do you see this entire cases, the scenario? Is justice becoming one-sided? And what do you think is the solution to this?
Yes, definitely. I think that justice has been one-sided always. I know women has been affected from so much of harassment at home, at work, everywhere, wherever she goes. I have traveled in Haryana Roadways buses, and I have traveled in every transport. We have been tried to be harassed by so many males around there, and I know the sensitivity of this. But my point here is, why can't, with the laws for a woman, some laws for males can coexist? I'm not dismissing beti padhao, beti badhao, something, anything for women, the budget my fellow panelists shared, but I want something for males, so that cases like Atul Subhash should not be called extreme, because there are so many like this happening around us. आप जैसे ही लोग हैं सर, जो आप लोग हैं यहाँ पे, जो सुसाइड कर रहे हैं, जो बोल नहीं पा रहे हैं, आप ऐसे प्रोफेशन में हैं, तो आप यहाँ आके बात कर रहे हैं, वो नहीं बोल पा रहे हैं बिकॉज उनको इतनी
All right.
समझ भी नहीं है और उनके साथ
Thank
बहुत
you so
ज्यादा
much, Inani. We are running short
Yeah.
of time. Yes, we have come to know that yes, somewhere or the other, we need equal rights. Equal rights means equal rights for both men and women. And these are the questions to the people who are watching us today, to the people who have attended the panelists today. Are men being denied fair justice in the shadow of gender laws? Ask yourself, what happens when protection for one becomes persecution for another? And shouldn't equality mean justice for all, not just for some? Ask yourself. And I thank you all the panelists. I thank all the panelists for joining us today and making the entire, discussion very, very engaging. We'll keep discussing on such, avoided topics, or we generally, the topics which people do not fear, do not, come ahead to speak, or somewhere they fear to speak out because, again, the society questions. Now, let us question the society. Let us actually work together for the equality of human, not just for one gender. Thank you so much, everyone. Keep watching The Global Eye.